All right, so this is going to model creating our shaker peg rack. So we're in Fusion 360. We're starting off with the kind of groove that the text is going to sit on. So I'm just making a 1/2 inch by 17 and a half inch rectangle. Now I'm putting some text on top of it. And I'm going to lay that out and move it into position so that those midpoints line up. And I'm going to bring it into the rectangle by a little bit so that those are attached. I'm then going to explode that text so that I can extrude it. And you're going to click on your rectangle and click on your text. And then you're going to have to go back and make sure all those gaps are filled in as well. And also make sure that you've used a capital, all caps text so that you don't have anything coming down too far into that rectangle. So once you got it filled in, what you're going to do next is then extrude it. And then that piece will be ready to kind of go. So that's it. That's going to sit in the back of your shaker peg. And then you're going to model the peg. So you'll have an image of the shaker peg that you need to then bring in as a canvas and then calibrate it. So you're going to find a distance on that that's like an inch and then use that calibration. What you're going to do now is you're going to trace half of the peg. So you're going to put a line down the middle and you're going to use the spline tool to trace around the outside. Do the best you can. You might want to use a line for the part that's relatively straight. You're then going to go back in and kind of adjust and clean up as best you can. This is just approximate. We're not going to build anything off this. It's really just so that our model looks appropriate. So once you have that sketch outlined, you're going to revolve that around an axis. So you're going to click on that area and then revolve, and then that will make basically our peg. So once you've revolved it around the axis, you'll see that it comes in as metal. And what you're going to do after that is then turn it into, change the material to be some sort of wood so we have the right component. So I've already pre-built the base in Fusion. And so now I'm going to bring those in. So you can see this is a bottom-up approach I have over on the left-hand side, all of my parts. I'm just going to bring them in, and then I'm going to move them into place with either a joint or a move with a point to point. So I'm going to take the text and move it to that back point, and then bring in 3 of the pegs and spend some time using a joint to put those into place. You can do a point to point move. It doesn't really matter. You're just trying to get those pieces to kind of approximately be in the right spot so we can have an idea what this thing's going to look like before we go and build it. All right, so just moving them into place. There's the 3. And then once they're in place, we're going to take a look at it and do our design drawing. So in a moment, we're going to have from the drop-down menu our design piece. And so we're going to do a drawing. So we have our design drawing. We go into the drawing space. We lay out, in this case, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. We set our scale so that things are going to fit. And then I just kind of pick some different drawings that I like the view of, and only selecting the shaker peg on one, so I have that piece. And now I'm just doing some dimensions. So here we go. We're going to have our design drawing laid out. Just moving pieces around so I can dimension them. Really just enough information so that we'd be able to draw this as we print it. All right, once we're done, we're going to export that as a PDF, and then we're ready to actually start fabrication.